Hello and welcome to another Should You Buy, and today we're looking at the Marauder IIC. We're looking at its stats, its different hardpoint locations, possible hitboxes based on the concept art, and go over everything that you should know in order to make your decision on whether or not you want to buy it. Let's go down here. We'll see how the packages are laid out. They're very standard to have them been doing them beforehand, with a couple differences compared to the last several packages. There is the standard pack, the 3 mechs for the $20. Collector's pack gives you the additional of the main variant that gives you plus 30% C-bills with additional goodies, premium time, and items. There's the hero and reinforcements add-ons, each for $15. But one of the differences happens in the early adopter awards, where there is a whole mech variant that is locked behind that. Of course, eventually there will be that mech come out for MC and C-bills, but the only way to get this certain 2C8 design is through the pre-order rewards before the end of August. So you have a few weeks to decide, or a couple of weeks. However, when you see this, you see it before the early adopter rewards expire to decide on whether or not you want to get it for that. Well, let's look down here at the specs of the individual mechs. I will try to position this nicely. I'm not going to be able to see everything at once, which is unfortunate. But the first one is the standard variant. The second is the early adopter. Then we have the other two portions of the standard package, the 2 reinforcement packages, and the hero. We're going to be looking through and making sure that there's no pay to win in some of those, and if there is, discuss how strong it is comparatively, and just give you a sense of what is there. But first, let's look over the statistics of the Marauder IIC. It is the clan version of the Marauder, and it adds an extra 10 tons, bringing the total to 85, pushing it into the Assault class. It comes with a standard 340 engine, depending on which mech you have here. Also comes with XL, but the 340 rating is standard, and it can go up to a maximum rating of 400, which means you can put basically any engine on this that you wish. Majority of the variants come with Pharaoh and Endo for free, which is very nice. You don't have to spend money to upgrade them, and of course, as a clan mech, it has double heat sinks. A few of the variants, specifically the B and the C, have jump jets, and because it's a battle mech, you can take and remove those jump jets as you wish. So you can have up to 4, or you can have down to 1, and any iteration in between. So if you just want to have that one little jump jet in order to get you over rocks and small debris and stuff like that, you can, and you don't have to commit the whole tonnage into those jump jets. But let's go down here and look at the hard points. Well, actually no, we're going to do the Spreadsheet Warrior, because we need to look at, with those stats, because this is a battle mech, it's not like an Omni mech where I can say you have exactly this much pod space and then you can decide how to use it. Of course, because it's a battle mech, you can put in any engine you want, and you can set your structure and armor to however you want. So we're going to look at the comparisons here. I've got 2 setups. I've got the 85 tons here, XL engines all the way through, because they are clan XL engines, requiring you to take out both side torsos, and only 1 or 2 of the variants actually have any noticeable amount of weapons that can be put into the CT or the head. So he's not really going to be wanting to zombie with this. If your side torsos are both gone, you might as well be dead anyway, because you'll be a paperweight. So running an XL will get you much more pod space than running a standard. We got the variation of the engine rating, starting at 300, going up by 25 all the way to 400, and all the way down Endo, because Endo is the first choice you should make, and then switching between Pharaoh and standard armor, depending on whether or not you need that little bit more in terms of critical slots. Say if you're going for an energy based build, you're probably going to want to take standard instead of Pharaoh, so you have those little bit more slots for getting on more double heat sinks. Let's look at the speed profiles for this thing. So 85 with a 300 is going to get you at 57.2 or 61.5 after tweak. Let's just look at the after tweak numbers and make it a little bit simpler. 325 will put you at 66.6. 350 will put you at 71.7, which the Warhawk, which is the same weight as this, has a 340, which is just slower than this at 69 point something. So at a 350, you're still going to feel basically just about at the mobility of a Warhawk. For an assault is quite nice. Slightly higher at 375 is 76.8, and maxed out 400 is 82 kilometers an hour, which means this assault is going pretty good click. Any assaults at 80 kilometers or more are kicking some serious butt in their speed, although it is sacrificing a lot in order to get that speed in terms of its pod space. Across the board, we have 4.5 tons for structure weight, and for Pharaoh, this is max without doing any shaving yet, so you can get a little bit more out of this. Pharaoh is 13.7 tons, and standard armor is 16.44. Now we can look at the pod space, how this goes across. I think probably the best combinations for engine and upgrades is going to be along the 350s and the 375s. I think when you're looking at 325s, you're just a little slow for what this mech can do, because it has the ability to take a safe XL engine. You might as well use it, and you're still going to have a lot of pod space for weaponry. If you go with a 350 and the 375 here, let me just try to select those. Wonderfully. There we go, like those. What we're going to end up with is 350 with Endo and Pharaoh is going to give you 44.8 tons of pod space, and the 375 will give you 40.3. So we're not losing very much. We're only losing maybe 4.5 tons in terms of usable pod space. The reason you don't go the next step is because your efficiency with engines gets lower the larger your engine gets, and to gain the same speed as we go from 350 to 375, about 5 kph, we lose 7 tons instead of 4. So that's where that efficiency break comes in at the 375. So I'd say a little bit more gun 350, a little bit less gun 375. It's still going to have a lot of gun at 375. It's going to have 40 tons when it has Endo and Pharaoh. And if you choose to go with standard armor, maybe making up a little bit of room for more heat sinks on an energy-based build, you can still get 42 and 37.5 tons out of it. So overall, this mech is going to have plenty of hard space, and it's going to be fairly mobile for a assault mech. So let's go back and look at the hard points. Now, remember that this is the first one here. This is the standard one. This is the one that you will get plus 30% C-bills if you get the $40 collector pack. It is the first variant here, and it is an energy boat. It's unique in the fact that it has 2 energy in the center torso. The only other one that has any weapon hardpoints in the CT is the pre-order bonus one. So it's good overall, this variant. It's just going to be an energy boat. It's going to be lasers. It's going to be some PPCs. However you want to fill out those energy hardpoints. It's going to be a fine mech for doing that. Yeah. Nothing really much to talk about that when your only hardpoints are, what is this? 9 energy. Just, you're going to fill that up somehow. Some quantity of large pulse and ER mediums, or maybe some medium pulse, and however you want to do it. Moving on, we have the one that we get from the pre-order package, and it's basically the first one, slightly weaker. So absolutely no qualms about the fact that the pre-order one is absolutely OP. It's not. It's weaker than the one you'll get in the standard package by 2 energy hardpoints, although that doesn't really matter because the difference between 7 and 9 energy hardpoints isn't that large, because you're never really going to need 9 energy hardpoints when you're looking at larger energy weapons. Maybe for something like a Nova that has the mobility and the jump jets and all that kind of stuff, in order to get close, can use its 12 energy or 10 energy hardpoints with small lasers or small pulse, but the difference between 9 and 7 at long range is going to be negligible, almost insignificant. It'll also depend on quirks, of course, but basically these two mechs will be functionally identical, so if you just want another laser mech, you can get the pre-order bonuses. It does have the one missile in the left torso, but as I've said before, one missile by itself is not very good. You're looking for at least 3 in order to make SRM a viable idea. Moving on here, the next two are the other main ones from the standard packages, and we have 2 energy in each arm and 3 ballistic in the right torso. And we'll just ignore AMSs for now, because typically no one takes them, although they should. But 4 energy, 3 ballistic, 4 ER meds, 3 ultra 5s, call it good. I think that fits in a side torso with a Clan XL engine. If it doesn't fit in a side torso because of critical slot problems, maybe 2 ultra 10s, because I know that fits, and that fits on my Kodiak. 2 ultra 10s in the XL engine, and the 4 ER meds or ER small lasers, depending on the situation that you need to find yourself in, whether or not you have enough tonnage or whatever for them. It should be good. Thankfully, because this is a battle mech, we don't have to worry about Pharaoh or Endo slots getting in the way of putting our weapons in a side torso, like we had to worry about on the Night Gear. So, excellent variant. Very happy about that. And we're moving on to the next one here. 2 energy in each arm, 1 energy in the right torso, so a total of 5, and then 2 missile and 1 AMS. Difference in this one is that it has 4 jump jets that is capable of taking. So you could do sort of the 5 energy, that's the very standard, say, 2 large pulse, 3 ER medium lasers, and then you have 2 missile. I suppose you could start doing like 2 SRM-6s with Artemis. You could do some LRMs on this if you wanted to say 2 15s or 2 10s, backup LRMs with some laser. However you wanted to play around with that. You could either do a more LRM based build on this where you went, say, 2 20s, that should fit in a side torso, and say 5 ER meds. Well, 4 ER meds and a tag, 5 ER meds. You can have that as your close range battle, and probably want to drop Pharaoh on that design in order to get some heat sinks and space for ammo. But yeah, it'll be a little bit more mobile because of the jump jets, which will be nice. But overall, it's a fine build. But let us take a look at the next two, because these are the ones that are in the reinforcement package. And look, are these OP comparatively? We got the first one here in the reinforcement package, and it can take jump jets. It's the second variant that the Marauder IIC will have on with jump jets. So that gives it a benefit, and it is very, very similar to this variant here. The 2 energy in each arm with 3 ballistic. This has 5 energy, 3 in one and 2 in the other, and 2 ballistic. So it's like taking the 1 ballistic and transferring it to an energy, and then adding jump jets. So it's going to do very, very similar things. Both these designs are going to do the, say, ER medium laser and 2 ultra 10 design pretty much equally as well. This one will be slightly better at optimizing it because of the fact that it will have jump jets and it'll have, say, an additional ER medium or ER small laser, allowing it to be that little bit better with its backup weapons. So it's slightly optimized better than the this variant here. So it's very slight though. Realistically, if either of these two found each other on the battlefield, it should be a pretty fair fight, unless it was very specifically a map that favored jump jets and their mobility, such as things like Canyon Network or some parts of Viridian Bog and things like that, then you would have a bigger difference between them. Let's move on to the second one in the reinforcement package, and this is one that will cause a little bit of controversy, as it is the one with ECM, and it has it in the center torso. Now, let's go over its benefits and its downfalls of this chassis, because one big thing they did to it is they lowered the engine and the max engine to a total of 340. So the fastest this will go is the speed of a Warhawk, which is 69 point something after tweak. While that's not like slow in any means for an assault, it's nothing compared to what the Marauder 2C can do. If it is, say, loaded with an XL 375, it can go up to 76.8. So it's going to be 7 kph behind the sort of standard other Marauder 2C. It's going to be behind a little. It's not going to be left in the dust, but you are going to notice that mobility change. It's going to be noticeable if you're always running, say, 375s on your other Marauders. If you're running 350s on your other Marauders, you're not going to notice it at all, and it's going to be basically the same. So that's one thing. It's got no jump jets, so you can't fly with it. But also, it's got interesting layout of hardpoints here. It's got 2 ballistic, 2 energy, 2 missile. So very spread out in that sense. We're not going to be able to boat any specific thing. We can't do a laser bomb on this. We can't do like the 3 or 4 ER meds and 2 large pulse, because we simply don't have the hardpoints to do it. We got 2 ballistics, so the best thing probably we could do in there is say 2 20s or 2 10s, and a couple missile. They're in the arms, so maybe we can use that to track a little bit when we got lights running by and we got some SRMs or something like that. So maybe this would be like a shotgun build with LB20s or LB10s and SRM6s. Maybe something like that comes around. But it'll be okay overall. Also, something you could do in this, of course, because it's got ECM and it's got ballistics, is you could throw on a pair of Gauss rifles and maybe an ERPPC in that right torso, because one of the energy weapon hardpoints is here in the head, so it's going to be limited to 1 slot. So the best you're going to do there is an ER large laser. So maybe 2 Gauss and a PPC. This thing will be good sniper, could be made into a good brawler. It lacks energy hardpoints for the laser bomb. It's a little strong because it's got that ECM, but its mobility is weakened because of it. It doesn't have jump jets. It has a lower max engine rating. I think it's okay, although it is slightly annoying that it's in a reinforcement package. But you shouldn't have to pick it up if you don't want to. But if you want that one that you can sit back there with ECM and on assault and snipe, maybe you want to get this. And last is the hero. We've got 1 energy, 1 ballistic in each arm, and 2 missile in each side torso. So we're starting to get into the realm that we can start thinking about splat and making it actually viable, because we can get 4 SRM 6s on this thing. Then you can do 4 SRM 6s, and you can do like 2 10s or 2 LB 10s or 2 LB 20s. I haven't actually run the math on how heavy those would be depending on what engine you take. So yeah, this thing could make a fairly decent brawler in that sense with the SRMs. Also, of course, you have 4 missile hardpoints. You can do 4 LRM 10s and just go at it and have backup Ultra 10s or Ultra 5s depending on the tonnage that you have available. But with 2 energy hardpoints, you could do 2 large pulse, 2 PPCs. That'd be the best thing you could do. You'd be putting a lot of weight into that. Then, if you're going to do anything with the ballistics, you could just ignore the missiles if you wanted to. Just do ballistics and energy, some like dual PPCs, dual 10s, dual large pulse, dual 10s, that kind of thing. Probably even like dual large pulse, dual Gauss. So yeah, it's going to be flexible. It's probably going to be the best brawler of the bunch. in that sense, because it'll have the ability to take the missiles, and of course it'll be the best LRM of the bunch because of that as well. So overall, just a tiny bit of pay to optimize with the comparatively of the A and the C, and a slight annoyance that the D is the only one with ECM, although I feel like they have nerfed its mobility enough that maybe it's not going to be a problem. And then the Scorch is going to be a completely fine hero in its own right. Let's go back up here to the top and take a look at some of those weapon hardpoints. You can see that point in the side torso. Look at that thing. It is so up there. I love that. So that side torso energy hardpoint or ballistic hardpoint or whatever it's going to be up there, it's going to be nice. So those ballistics are going to be just like in the Marauder. They're going to be easy to poke over heels with. You're going to be able to, if you can see it, you can shoot it. And overall, that's good. The rest of it, though, is going to be a little bit low slung. Not terrible. Not like cataphract low slung, like you're dragging your fists on the ground. But it is going to be below cockpit. So you're going to have to expose your entire upper body in order to get your arms on target, and it looks like the majority of your upper body in order to get your torso weapons on target. So, slight annoyance there. This should probably be very similar to the Marauder in terms of hitboxes, which means this portions here of the side torso going all the way back will be side torso, meaning it will pretty easy to focus side torso down on this thing. But as a clan mech, that's okay because you can take a side torso loss and keep functioning. So overall, I think this mech is going to be very powerful. If you're looking for basically a replacement for the Warhawk, because this thing will be able to do everything the Warhawk currently does, and a little bit better, a little bit more optimized, because you can change your engines and your positioning of your ammo and stuff like that, which is a very, very annoying thing in the Warhawk. It's going to be good. I would give it a buy if you're looking for the little bit more mobile, heavy, no, not assault, not heavy, an assault that is basically a Warhawk, but better. So that'll be it for the Marauder IIC, and sorry about this being a couple days late. I was out of town over the weekend, being all busy and such, but I'm back and ready to do some more content. So thank you for watching, and good hunting.